At one point, Troy said that Kendrick had reached out to him and was interested in signing him to TDE, but because of
that
his
was
situation.
his own words out of his own mouth. He said that his man reached out to one of his mans and said, "Yo, how Troy doing? You know, boom, boom, boom. Hope he's all right." All these things make it seem like there was some level of interest in him, and then you get, you know, the day afterwards, the head person at TDE said nobody from my camp has ever reached out to nobody,
right, including Kendrick,
and ever said anything like that. So it's alternative news. This is what they said.
Alternative news.
You know, he wrote, "This is alternative facts." So this is not real. So you understand what I'm saying? It's like, so at that point, that's when I say, you know what? I don't even want to, because at this point, I don't know what your motive is. I don't know what you're dealing with. Maybe you're dealing with some level of trauma. But I would have just pushed it off on trauma if this level of arrogance didn't happen before any of this happened. If this level of arrogance actually wasn't what probably led to this situation. You understand what I'm saying? Because you invite that energy. You make yourself a target. You make somebody that watches you feel like they're gonna say, "Yo, I don't fuck with him. He's this and that." And then you gotta show that you're not. So the more you put that energy in, then every day you're gonna have to. I've been in jail, right? And there's dudes that are very serious individuals. You know, some of them are there for homicide, some of them for their shootings. They have criminal histories, but you won't know who they are and what they stand for by just watching them, because they don't invite that energy. But the minute that you put them in that situation, then you see the reality of who they are, because they carry themselves a certain way. Then you got the dudes that walk into the house that's diddy bopping, ice grilling everybody, talking about what they did in the street, how much money they had in the street, and those dudes always end up with a cut on their face, end up in the box, because they invite that energy into their lives.
Right, because I remember speaking to a friend of mine who had done I think 20 years in prison, and he explained to me, and you know, me personally, I've never done any real jail time, but he explained to me how different prison is from the streets, because you have these so-called gangsters, you know, who people define as tough guys on the streets because they're shooters. And these are people who, you know, shoot across the street, they do drive-bys, they do that type of stuff. There are no guns in prison.
None.
For you to physically harm somebody, you have to be face-to-face on them. You have to physically use your hands and feet to hurt this person. And he said that 99% of these shooters end up being very, you know, straightforward, timid individuals in prison because they're not ready for that level of violence.
And that's what I'm trying to, they're not ready for that level of confrontation with a man. And that's what I'm trying to tell you. And that's the difference between the person I am and the average person. That's why I don't really want to get into a conflict with somebody, because I'm prepared for that. I'm prepared to lock me and you in a room and handle it and one of us walk out. The average person doesn't want to deal with that level of seriousness. They just want to talk that, or they want to be able to sneak you and shoot you in the back and all that. So at the end of the day, we on two different levels of things. People just like to talk. I know what I'm prepared to do. So at the end of the day, I don't really want to get involved with that, because I know where it's going to end me. Either I'm going to go to jail or you're going to have to kill me when you put me in that predicament. So I don't want to get that. And I know that. And that is the quote unquote mentality of most of the gangsters and the real dudes. Nobody, we don't want to get into no problems, because we are 100% sure where we're going to go with it. So when you see somebody putting that energy like that's what they're inviting in every time, then you know it's too much. It's a facade, because no real warrior wants to engage in war all the time, because they know what it comes with. A lot of people just want to do that to keep you off them or make you believe that they want to do that. So sometimes they bluff you, but you can't bluff everybody, and that's what happens.
Right. I mean, I think that's why, you know, like me and you have always been so close in terms of our friendship, and I've had other friends from the same type of environment as you, because they explained to me how they don't want to be around, you know, violent people all the time, you know, and be around these types of situations. They like being around me because,
because you know, have a good time and chill. You ain't got to worry about, all right, we're going to go out today. We might get into a shootout, we might have to throw somebody here. My life might be in jeopardy. Like I might end up going back to prison. Like I did that.
No, when you hang out with me, it's usually just fun.
It's a good time,
a good conversation. Yeah,
that's it, man.
And that's it. So, Troy Ave responded to you. Mm-hmm. I'm sure you saw it.
Yeah, I seen his response.
So he kind of made fun of your arrest, which is something that
he exposed me.
Is that what he said?
That's the word. The word is that Troy Ave exposes Mysonne.
Right. Even though you did an interview with me a few weeks earlier where you laid it all out, which is probably where he got it from.
Listen to me, man. I mean, I've always been forthcoming about my life, my situation. At no point did I ever say that I went to jail for anything that I did. You know, and I went to jail for a crime that I didn't commit. And that's documented. Me and you did a full interview on it. So if somebody wanted to know that, and you know, it's got hundreds of thousands of views, so I don't think anybody was ignorant to the fact of that. So when people trying to say, oh, that's true, yeah, that's what I didn't never say I went to jail for anything. I never projected myself to be anything that I wasn't. You know, I'm the average human, and I'm a man before anything. So it's about morals, values, and principles to me. If you violate me, you put me in a position where it's me or you, I'm going to choose me. If you threaten my friends and my family, I'm going to protect them. That's just who I am. Never been anything else. From kindergarten, I've been that way. Anybody from kindergarten will tell you, that's been Mysonne. He never tries to be more than he is. I'm not part of no gang. I'm not part of nothing.
Right.
I stand on my own merit and my own principles.
Right. And the way me and you ended up becoming friends was when we first met, I got into a situation with somebody, and it wasn't even a serious situation. It was like some little fender bender or something. And when me and that person started to confront each other, I watched you walk into the situation. Whereas I had a lot of so-called friends that I did a whole lot more for at that time than, because at that point I hadn't done anything for you. We were just hanging out, getting to know each other. I had a lot of so-called friends that would take 5 steps back when confrontations started to, you know, come together. And as I watched you come in, I said, okay, this is a different type of person than I dealt with before. And that's kind of became the basis of our relationship after that.
It was just me being genuine, man. If you with me, and my goal is, if we leave somewhere together, then I'm gonna make sure you get home safe. You know, that's just what men do, you know?
Right.
Everybody, like, you from a different reality than I'm from. You know, and sometimes what it is people try to prey on that fact that they know that you're not from that reality. So I'm not gonna allow somebody to impose themselves on you when I'm there. You know what I'm saying? That's just not, if I call you my friend, my thing is to step up and first try to, you know, settle the situation. And if that can't happen, then, you know, I'm not gonna let nobody do nothing to my friend.
Right. We've had a few of those over the years. Luckily, none of them have turned violent.
It's out of respect, man.
Yeah.
I realize when you deal with people respect, because it's misconceptions, like especially like you. You know, people don't like you. They don't like you. A lot of people hate VladTV. They think you're a culture vulture. You've rubbed somebody the wrong way, and a lot of times I have to have real conversations with people. Like, listen, the man is doing a job. He don't come from where me and you come from. He's not from the streets. It's not. So a lot of times, it's been times where I have to call you and be like, Vlad, you can't do certain things to certain people. And I had to explain to you, and you'd be like, damn, okay, I get it. And you'd be like, well, it's my bad, and we move on from that. You know, that's part of life. We learn, everybody's reality is different. So, you know, those situations occur, you know, and I do my best to try to rectify them and just make sure that everybody is served in the right fashion, and that, you know, that you're not misinterpreted. And I have to tell people, like, Vlad has a website, and the website is about people coming to watch the content. So that's what it is. And if it's good content, you know, and it's not something that's totally against, if he is not, you know, then that's what it is. Every other website is gonna have the same footage up that Vlad has. So it's about, if he gets it first before you, people go to the thing. That's what it is.